Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to another VTuber song reaction. Today we have another one from Moona. There was quite a few comments saying that I should give this one a listen specifically. Time Wizard Phil specifically had the comment that I'm putting up on screen right now, and it had the most likes on it. But to be fair, there was also somebody named Zaid who also recommended this one, and both comments had quite a few likes on them. So you know what? That's pretty obvious. I should be listening to this one. Not really much else to say other than Time Wizard Phil is probably one of my most recently favorite YouTube tags I've ever seen, so that's fantastic, but I'll digress and get to the reaction. So without further ado, let's go.
Your action and your words will never match. You're such a piece of trash, and that's a fact.
All right. Okay. We're doing pop punk now.
You make me feel that I'm not
Appreciate the variety.
I give you my best, but you're not impressed. It falls apart. You broke my heart. You're spreading more lies and lies and lies. I had enough, cut it out. I am begging no more. It's you, the one who spread the word that I am fake. It's you, the one who stabbed me right in the back. And now you say that I misread, but I don't even really care anyway. It's you who did something so that I took to
This is fun.
It's you who went
A little more poppy than I thought it was gonna turn into, but not bad.
Who's toxic? It's you.
Nothing like good snare build-up, you know? You just sit on this for a while, and it just feels good.
It's bullshit. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. It falls apart.
The 3D did not do that middle finger crank like any justice. Very smug face on that one. This is a very specific sound. I'll get into details afterward, but the vibe through the bridge here.
It's you, the one who made me feel that I am weak. Your words, it's so hard, make me black and blue. I know the truth, but you deny. Who cares about it anyway? It's you, the one who spread the lies and then you fled. It's you, the one who deceives and never regret. I have to warn ya, you know there's karma. I need no drama. That was toxic, it's you.
There's actually a lot I'm gonna be able to say about this one. I'm loving the vibe it's going for too, lyrically as well.
Who's toxic? It's you.
All right, I appreciate songs like this where like I enjoyed my time here, but I also can dig in a little bit more to the technical stuff and explain maybe with examples of, is my camera dead? My camera's been dead this whole time. Huh. No, it's only the past couple seconds. Okay, I'll fix that. Hold up. That's a first. So yeah, anyway, as I was saying, I like songs like this where I don't often get to do this, but I can actually take my time to maybe make examples of what my points are going to be and show you what I'm talking about and get you to hear what I'm trying to hear in this. But also, not a bad song, so let's get into it. To start off with the overview before I get into the more nerdy stuff, I do like the energy on this song. It has a lot of that fun 2000s like prep band kind of energy. It's like prep punk is something that does not get a lot of love. And I also don't know if that's technically the name of the genre. It's what I call it. It's that sort of chanty pop punk that like exists exclusively to be in like the 2000s teen movies. That sound, like, we're not talking Disney quite that like cookie cutter, but like in the Hollywood scene, this is the type of song they would throw in there for a credit sequence or a montage of the main character like running around trying to fix problems, something like that. It's that sort of sound, and it's a very specific niche of sound in this genre that I actually do have quite a bit of appreciation for, because I feel like it gets shafted a lot as exclusively that exact thing. Like, oh, that's movie music, and it doesn't get much other love on there. I treat it as its own subgenre because I feel that it is. That's why I made the name prep punk for myself, and I still don't know if that's an actual thing, but it's exactly what this feels like. It's this sound. And now to get more into the nerdy stuff, I've actually been sitting here for the past 15 minutes or so downloading the song and mixing it around a little bit, changing some small things. And I want to play that for you so you can understand what I'm getting at here. They are very minor differences at large. The main one being, I like the mixing of this song. I don't think it's bad at all, but there is a little bit missing in certain frequencies that I think would help at kind of glue this song together, I guess. So the first thing I realized on this song that I think could have been slightly improved is the first chunk of vocals in the very first verse. There are the spots where it has the doubled vocals for those chants and everything. That sounds honestly fine. It blends in and glues itself together really well, but I feel like there is a little too much presence in the voice just on its own for those individual sections. There's no doubling or anything happening, and I feel like the lack of a supportive reverb in that beginning section is kind of an unfortunate lack. So I glued it together with my own plugins. I added a very small reverb adjustment. By small, I mean literally like 2%, but it does make a little bit of a difference in my ear, and I wonder if that's the same for any of you. So here's what that sounds like.
Your action and your words will never match. You're such a piece of trash, and that's a fact.
So to compare that to the unaffected version, you'd have this.
Your action and your words will never match. You're such a piece of trash, and that's a fact.
There's not a lot of change there, and like I said, it's going to be pretty minor, but I feel like there is enough of an impact there. I also gave it an overall mastering boost as well, just kind of cranked it a little bit more. I think, again, the overall mix is fine. That's just to, again, help it kind of glue together a little bit. It's something I do in basically the post of everything I work on. It just helps kind of give that extra shine on it. I just think that especially at the beginning parts, and it does happen a little bit later during the second verse, where it just feels like her voice is kind of flat, like she recorded in a very dead space. There's not a lot of natural reverb happening around her. She probably recorded with like a blanket over a microphone, basically. That's kind of the classic thing to do when you don't have a studio space to go to, and it works great. There's definitely a line where you don't want to cross with reverb. There's way too much, but also when you lack any reverb, you kind of have to add it back in order for everything to kind of feel like it's glued together. I use the term glue a lot because that's literally a term in music, but that's what I feel like was missing here specifically, that there wasn't enough additional reverb there. It is a very minor change, but it does have a very prominent effect on the overall feel of the song when the vocals and the instrumental feel like they're on two separate levels, and you want to pull them together a little bit and make them feel a little bit more like they're happening all in one space. The other thing that I did was purely for fun on this one, but I do think it was kind of a different approach they could have taken. For that solo section after the bridge where she kind of slows things down, there's less instrumental. There's this effect I wanted to try that was pretty prominent in the late 90s and early 2000s with this exact sort of moment in a song, and that is a low fidelity equalizer on it, just kind of throwing a little bit of a graphic EQ on there to see what happens to this part if you take out all the lows and all the highs and just really crank the mids. So this is what that part sounds like with that graphic equalizer on there.
It's you, the one who made me feel that I am weak. Your words, it's so hard, make me black and blue. I know the truth, but you deny. Who cares about it anyway? It's you, the one who breaks the light.
And then you just go right back into it. I love that aesthetic, having just that little too much on the mids. It just feels really crispy and nice for some reason. Again, it's pretty stereotypical, but I feel like that sort of thing, again, is exactly what this sort of genre goes for. I love how Hilary Duff this song sounds overall. It really brought me back to that era of music, and I adore that. It's definitely like a guilty pleasure for me, that Ali and AJ level of music. This is a very specific point in time that I'm getting to. I am referencing a lot of like Disney Channel musicians here, but that's because when they're breaking out of that Disney Channel sound, this is exactly the following step to get out of that sound and move into their own. Is like, okay, let's make it a little bit more aggressive, less than Disney safe, but also not quite fully radio yet. The writers that they have aren't exactly A++ people, but they're still really good at doing what they do. And this is kind of that cookie cutter window between. And I really like that sound. It is definitely something that holds a lot of nostalgia for me, and I adore it. And I just wanted to play around with this and kind of show you what I mean, especially with the reverb. I think that could have been handled a little bit more gracefully to allow the voice to blend in a smidge more. But this part specifically, just me messing around with it for the sake of it, was all just me wanting to see what that sounded like. And honestly, I kind of like the effect. I can't decide if I like the original more or if I like it with this filter more, but either way, it's not what the actual song sounds like. That's just me playing around. Like I said, it accomplished exactly what it set out to do. I like the energy of it, and overall, I think it nails that aesthetic of that prep punk kind of sound, and I'm totally here for it. If I'm going to nitpick anything in the more like direct technical way, it would be the drums having a little bit too much of just the snare. There is definitely a time and place for that snare buildup and just staying on that and locking into it for a verse or something, but there is also just too much of it in this song, I think. The problem there is I can't really tell what I would replace a lot of it with. I think in the beginning it makes sense. Later, I feel like we're losing too much energy by going back to it. But I also don't feel like doing a like floor tom kind of groove and like bouncing around up here really makes any more sense. So I think in the grand scheme of this, that was the correct decision. But part of me wonders what would happen if this song wasn't rearranged a little bit to kind of make more of that room, bring the energy up a little bit more often maybe, and keep it a little more consistent in the middle. Overall, great song, not mad. I just wanted to throw my hat into the ring here with those little nitpicks I had and see what I could do with it, but I still enjoy it very much, and I really have no notes other than my own little nitpicks here and wondering what could have been. So I guess that's about it. Thank you all so very much for watching. This is definitely not something I do often, getting into the point of breaking the song apart into vocals and separating the instrumentals and playing around with that sort of thing. But this song kind of inspired me to do that and see what I could do. This is definitely kind of a unicorn video in that respect. I don't think I'll be doing this too much, but something was just calling to me and I had to at least give it a shot. But if you like this video and you want to request something yourself, now that I've listened to 2 of Moona's songs, I think it's definitely worth the time to move on to another person. I know there's plenty out there that I could be listening to, so if you have a specific request, leave it in the comments below and I'll do my best to get to it. And of course, if you enjoyed this video and you want to follow me and support me for more in the future, you know how to do all that, and I will see you all in the next video. Goodbye!